So we know the compression is good, O-rings are good, the cooling system's good, idling fine. Let's take it for a drive. Put the GoPro on, everything was ready to go, and I had 4 forward gears and no reverse. For some reason I don't have 5th in reverse. I'm not sure why. So I've got to take, for sure I got to take the bumper off, and then I'm going to take the tail housing, or sorry, the end cap off the back, and I'm going to see if I can see with the bore scope what the shifter fork is snagging on. Chances are there's nothing I can fix it from that angle, but once I get the back off, I might have a better idea what's going on. The nice thing is, to select 5th inverse and the whole shifter selection, it's all in just that center diff housing, the back part. So I'm not going to pull the transmission off the engine. I'm just going to pull the tail housing off, and hopefully the issue is, I'm sure the issue is just there in the selector, and it's not, hopefully, in the front case that I'd have to split, because in order to engage reverse gear is right next to first in the transmission. It's actually right next to 4th and 5th on the pattern, like for shifting, but in the transmission itself, it is way to the front. 5th gear is actually on the outside of the front case and in the center diff housing, so I'll be able to see 5th, and I'm hoping that with the tail housing off, I'll be able to select reverse, fire it up, confirm that reverse works, and then I can just figure out why the shaft that puts it in gear, whatever you want to call that, why that's not engaging 5th or reverse. I am using 2 different generations of casings, which I'm sure is the problem. I put them together and thought everything was good. Maybe I should have confirmed it more. So we'll figure that out, but I'm gonna make this work. No time lapses. I'm just gonna show you guys the updates. You've seen me take this stuff all apart before. Okay, so here was our problem. This right here is the reverse check sleeve, and right here is actually where this little spring goes. See if we can focus on that. And as you can see, it was all jacked up. So I actually could have fixed this without draining any fluid had I known this was the issue, but I didn't know it was the issue. So we can see now how it works. Okay, we're gonna kind of be upside down here. So let's go through the gears. This would be, there we go. So first, second, and then 3rd, 4th, and then if you notice, see if we can get in here. There's that little, see if I can point to it. This little guy right here, that's the reverse lockout. So when we go into 5th, which previously it would not come over here at all, that won't let us go back to reverse. But we can go back over and down to reverse now. So it wouldn't do this at all. It would do this, but not this, because in behind this bolt is this, in behind this bolt is the spring, and then a little tiny ball bearing. And because the spring was jammed on the ball bearing, it wouldn't allow that cylinder to come out. But now it does. So I get to put everything back together. So I have the transmission all put back together. And it was kind of a pain getting it all in there, but with the transmission mount, but regardless, I got it in without having to take the whole tranny off, so it was awesome. If you're ever setting up the shifter in the 818 and you get kind of confused with the linkage, whether you're using factory 5 stuff or Craig's or 0 Decibel Motorsports linkage, and you're trying to, well, where's first, where's reverse, etc., right? just if you stick a roll pin or whatever, a bolt or something in your shifter, it's just like a regular H pattern. So you're going to find neutral all the way to the left and forward is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then I can't go straight back to reverse because I got that lockout. If I go to neutral, there's reverse. And the clutch is depressed, in case you were wondering. So, I have all the gears. It was really just that little spring that was screwing me up, but it set me back a day and a half. So, I got some silicone on all this, so I pretty much can't do anything with it till that dries. So, hopefully tomorrow I'll take it for a spin. I'm going to hold off putting the whole back end on the car until I confirm the transmission is functioning properly. I will throw some fluid in it though. So once I found all my gears, I put everything back together. I didn't do any more commentary. I was too excited to drive the car. I drove it in a couple of times, came back, fiddled the laptop, realized I was in way over my head. Took an entire weekend, watched probably 8 hours of videos from High Performance Academy. Shout out to those guys. What they do is amazing, and I couldn't have gotten as far as I did without them. The car ran pretty good. I did actually get into boost. I got to about just under 7 psi at one point at 3,300 RPMs. It came on quick and kind of scared me, and I think the tuning just on my little road, I've already kind of exceeded. Like I need to get it inspected and get it on the road and be able to just, you know, go off somewhere and do a fourth gear pull and actually get some solid numbers to tweak. Unfortunately, I'm not going to pass inspection with a transmission leak. So I've solved the issue with not getting all the gears, but I had a little drip, and then after driving it, it became more of a steady stream, leaking out where the axles enter the transmission. The axles I have assembled are the same ones I had on the previous transmission. However, this is an older transmission, which usually has the male stubs sticking out of the transmission. It didn't, however, so I was like, oh, well, maybe because it's a rare STI version, maybe, you know, mine will work. And sure enough, I slid them in and they work, and it does drive. However, I realized they don't actually lock in despite having that little circlip on. So when I pulled them out and I compared them to the transmission, actually came with front axles, which was very lucky, and I don't throw anything out, so they were up in the attic in the garage, and I pulled them out, and I guess they're supposed to have the male stubs, but the male stubs had stayed attached to the axles, or to the CVs, because they didn't knock out the roll pin, they just pulled it out. So long story short, I need to use the other style CV, which doesn't work on the supplied factory 5 axles, because you basically had to tell them, you know, what your donor was. Did you have a 2004 and a half or newer or older, because of this difference. So I'm going to have to call factory 5 tomorrow and probably wait 3 or 4 weeks for a set of axles.
Many months later.
I took the axles I had on the car and the 99 STI axles apart to see if the splines matched. They did not. You can see here how they're different. There's a roll pin here that would usually be removed, and the top section stays in the transmission, at least in the pre-2004s. So after talking with factory 5, it would appear that they only have 2 axles. One's 21-29 spline, the other one's 29-29 spline, which mine is, and both are the same length. So I needed to find a new inner CV in 29 spline. I took a chance on some Napa WRX rebuilds, and it all worked out. Unfortunately, I didn't realize I had the wrong seals in, which matched the wrong axles, but once I had the right axles, the seals didn't seal at all, and I poured a gallon of trans fluid on the ground. But after pulling the axles one last time to install the proper seals, I'm all set. Piece of cake.
Flashback.
Thanks for following along. At least there's a little bit of driving footage. We're getting there. We're not getting any high revs or shooting any flames yet, but it'll happen soon enough. And if you like what I'm doing here, like, subscribe, comment, and any feedback is welcome as always. And until next time, peace.